1, 2, 3. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the very, very first live version of Power Hour with myself and the man who just spent 2 weeks traipsing all around Europe with the great 8-time Mr. Olympia, Ronnie Coleman. He's refreshed after a very, very one night of rest. Please welcome Giles Tiger Thomas. What's up, Giles?
How you doing, Ron? I went down for yesterday. I thought I'll have a quick nap and then I'm going to go. I think I'm going to eat some food and go to the gym. I think that was about 5 o'clock, and I woke up at 10 o'clock. So wow. that's the history for. I've made history there for the longest nap I've ever had. So and basically went up, got some food, watched season 4 of The Boys, and went straight back to bed. And I feel all caught up today. They're all refreshed, and because normally it usually hits me a couple of days after these tours, but because this was an intense one, this was really busy. 6 countries in 10 days or something, and yeah, but I feel good. I can start back training tonight, a bit legs tomorrow, and yeah, feeling ready for the next one now.
Well, there's a show or two every damn weekend, as you know. We're leading up to the Mr. Olympia. Chicago Pro is happening as we speak, believe it or not. They started with the Masters Pro divisions yesterday. Today they're doing about half the divisions. I actually show people the schedule real quick so they can see. Tim Gardner does not put on small shows, guys. It's always a big production. So going to his banner here. So it's happening July 18th through 20th. It is a 3-day show. Competition information. If I go to his website, just to look at the schedule, because it's happening now, guys. If you want to go to Tim Gardner Productions and get the web stream, the webcast, I think I have to click on that. Stream live. But the schedule, where's the schedule? Well, anyway, it's a big show. Put it that way. Yeah, go ahead.
Ron, do you know those? You know myself and Lauren were supposed to be doing the live stream commentary in Amsterdam last week. Because obviously they were running, and I did stage interviews with like James Hollinshead and Stefan Kinzel. Who's the other one? Wesley.
Wesley was
doing a live stream, but yeah, they cancelled the live stream because the live stream company per hall wanted 15,000 euros to do this to set it up.
15,000 euros it's roughly close enough to $15,000.
Yeah, basically just do the live stream. So they pulled it. So I said, well, it's great because I can just basically focus on being on the stand.
Fair enough. Well, let's get into the show. Yeah, you're glitching a little bit. So let me stop that screen. So we're going to go through the open class today, guys, because as I said, half the show is happening today with like men's physique. Sadiq Kadzovic is coming back. There's a lot of good divisions. Tomorrow, I believe, open and 212 are tomorrow. So we're going to focus on those rather than preview a show that's actually happening right now. So let's begin with this guy, Hassan Mostafa. So Hassan, it took him 3 tries last year to get a qualification for the Olympia, and he didn't make it. He didn't make it to the Olympia. I can't remember what happened. Do you remember what happened? I think he had some not a health issue, an injury, something. It was something minor, but it prevented him from going to the Olympia last year, even though he was qualified because he won Vancouver.
Sorry, what was that running?
I said Hassan. Hassan qualified for the Olympia last year. By winning Vancouver Pro, but he didn't make it to the Olympia.
Okay,
he wasn't in the Olympia.
Yeah, I can't remember. I'm sure I hadn't.
Yeah, but so
it looks very good here. His legs look nice and sharp, nice and dry.
Yeah, this is actually his Orlando win 2 years ago. I think it was another season. It took him a couple. It takes him a couple shows to really find his conditioning. So we saw him in Toronto, I think it was about 6 weeks ago, not in tip-top condition at all. He ended up getting 5th, a show that he probably could have won had he been properly shredded. But he's had, since Toronto, I think he's had like about 6 weeks to really dial it in. We can take a look at his Instagram and see. But yeah, conditions the only thing that really seems to limit him at times.
So,
go ahead.
Well, that and the weight, the waist thickness, because I think was it Chris Aceto was prepping him and he figured out what foods was causing like the bloatedness and the inflammation. Because obviously with someone like him, he doesn't have the smallest waist, so anything they can. I mean, even if because he's got so much muscle. I mean, but like I said, per square inch. I think he's one of the probably the thickest pro bodybuilders out there. So to bring in this guy in flat, he's still going to be so huge and full and round. But, bringing him in flat will also, the idea is to basically bring the waist in, like almost where he's got no food inside him, because the less he's got in that midsection, the more, the better his taper is going to look and his shoulder to waist ratio. So, so you can afford to bring this guy in flat. I imagine it's a really, really hard to peak this guy properly, because you've got to get that balance of fullness, condition, and to keep that waist nice and small, because all eyes do go to the waistline, I'm afraid. Because imagine if he had like a tiny little waist. I mean, he'd be like another Rami.
Yeah. I mean, structure, that's the one thing you have no control over as a bodybuilder, is your bone structure. He's done a great job. Here's the check-in pictures he posted. I think he's done a fantastic job working with a less than ideal bone structure and frame, that he doesn't have that super wide clavicles and a narrow waist. So what do you do in that case? You build a ton of muscle and you get shredded out of your mind. And he's got all the muscle in the world. We've said that before. Doesn't need any more size. It always comes down to conditioning and staying full. Easier said than done, I know. So
I'm very, very interested to see him against Mo Foda, because Mohamed is kind of got all the attributes that Hassan has got, but he's got a tiny little waist. So straight away, I'm thinking Mo Foda will have maybe an advantage over Hassan. So I'm really, really looking forward to seeing these two go up against each other, because, like I said, they're both kind of similar height, similar structure. I would say that Hassan's not that far behind now in terms of structure, and I think he's probably got a slightly better shape. So it's going to be close. But who would you put your money on if it was between Mo Foda? Bearing in mind that a lot of people haven't seen much of Mo Foda, whereas we've seen a lot of Hassan Mostafa in the last couple of years. So
yeah, I promise you, a lot of American fans don't even know who he is.
I think Mo Foda will take Hassan today.
Wow. So let's take a look at Mo Foda, because I was only vaguely familiar. He's an Evogen athlete. I believe Hani used to coach him. But let's take a look at Mo Foda, Mohamed Foda he's Egyptian living in Dubai now. This was his pro debut. This was 3 years ago at the KO Squad Egypt show. This was his pro debut. Crazy shape on this guy. I think he's bigger now. Like I said, this was 3 years ago. He was just starting out.
Oh mate, he's twice the size now. This was the KO Squad show in Egypt.
Yeah.
In what he's working with Hani Rambod now. He is so much bigger now.
Okay, we're going to take a look at him as soon as this is over. He does have some more recent updates up on his Instagram. So let's finish this up though, because I was impressed with
he's making himself look like a.
Well, he was probably 20.
He's making himself look like a junior in this video now.
Okay, so.
Oh yeah. Well, thing is though, sometimes with these shorter guys, 20 pounds can look like 20 pound. It can look like 20 pounds, but in reality, it might be only like 6 or 7. But to me, he's completely morphed since then. So it just shows you how hard this guy's been working, and also how well it's working between him and Hani Rambod.
Yeah. Okay. So now that you guys have seen what he looked like 3 years ago, let's go take a look at what he looks like
2 years
now.
ago, 22, wasn't it? 22?
22
or 21, that.
The video said 2021, so I'm going to go with that. So here's him now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes, oh my God. Yeah. I mean, he's looking more like Hadi. I mean, to be honest, I think he's in the mold of Hadi. In fact, I mean, he's got some, he's really good. I think this is the dark horse for the show. I think this is the guy that could come in and really cause an upset, because I think it's not that he's underrated. It's just that we haven't really seen enough of him to really build hype. He hasn't done enough shows, all over the world for people to really know how good he is. But the thing is, it's not just how good he is now, but also how much improvements he's made, because he's someone who's coming up really, really fast. So I think for me, this is the guy that probably not many people are going to be counting as a potential winner. I mean, I do see him as someone that could potentially win this, because he's very complete, very dense. He's good striations, good detail, good condition. He's got nice shape, nice shoulder to waist. He's not missing any body parts. He doesn't have a bad pose. So I think this is the guy to watch out for, Ron. I think this is the one that could be I think he could be the dark horse to win this, mate.
So where has he competed? Because I barely know this guy's name, as good as he is.
I can't think. Hang on, what was the last time he did? He's competed this year, isn't he? He's done a lot. I mean, he's been. Have a look on his Instagram because he'll show you some of the shows. Because I mean, it's like I said, there's been so many shows this year. Scroll down and have a look because I'll be able to tell with the backdrop. But I'm happy that he's doing more. I'm happy he's doing more shows, like at a high-profile show, an American show, like the. There you are. He did Romania last year.
Is that what this is? Maybe. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Romania. Hang on. Was I there?
Fantastic.
Was I there in Romania? I can't remember if I was there or not. Was I there? No, I wasn't in Romania. I went to. I was in Prague the week after.
I mean, I would get confused if I were you too. I travel so much. This is the one I used to.
I mean,
wow.
Yeah. He's really good.
Jeez.
He's like Hadi with stripy shoulders.
Oh boy, you did go there. But man, I'm super impressed. I'm impressed with this guy. I mean, that is a dark horse because I guarantee you a lot of American fans, especially, they're looking at the lineup and they see that name and they're going right past it. Like, never heard of him.
Yep.
Never heard of him. Like I do half the time.
He's good. Look at his legs. Look at his legs, his arms. He's got everything pops when he poses. He's got a nice small waist. I think like I said, I keep saying he's like in that Hadi type mold, but he's got a very, very similar sort of physique. And he's not like a million miles behind someone like Hadi. So I think this is a guy that really, really is someone to watch out for. And like I said, I wouldn't be shocked if he won the whole bloody show, mate.
Right. Well, let's go to another freak. This was a guest posing that Vlad the Impaler. Did you come up with that nickname, Giles? I think you did. Vlad the Impaler. Vlad Sukhoruchko.
I did, yes, I did.
The giant from Ukraine, calling Dubai home for the last few years. Boy, is he a big boy.
Yeah.
What's he about 270, 280 on stage? He's got to be.
I think he looks more than he is. But he's, do you know what? I mean, this kind of condition, he's in this condition all year round. I can never tell when he's about to compete because he just looks like he's a week out all year round. I mean, he posts updates. But you know, one thing I didn't know, I mean, he must have been posting old updates because he torn his tricep.
Oh, no.
I know. I saw it on his Instagram and there was a massive scar running all down his forearm, right up the back of his arm.
Oh, gosh.
And, yeah, he really it was a really bad 10. I was like, is this recent? And I think he was just posting old videos, to keep people off the scent. But I mean, he's all the updates I've seen looks absolutely tremendous. So obviously he's fully healed now. He's fully recuperated. And yeah, you know me a lot. I mean, I've been hyping Vlad and writing about him in MD, and I was just like I said, I've just been following this kid for several years now. Ever since it was what was it, Romania? I think he got third. I think it was fourth place, wasn't it? Third place, fourth place behind Mohamed. The other Egyptian guy. I forgot his name now.
Elam.
Yeah, Mohamed Elamam. Yeah. I think they were third and fourth in that show, and then that kind of both put them on the map, And he's done well ever since. Really, he's actually qualified for 2 Olympias, but didn't make it the first time because of the visa. Right. And then in 22, remember in 22, he was sat behind me at the finals.
What happened there? He was supposed to be on stage.
I never actually found out. But you know what? I mean, I love Vlad, but you know what? The one thing, I think you know what I'm going to comment on. Have a guess.
No idea.
I'm dropping you in. It's the delts, mate. I don't like what he's doing with his delts. I think it makes him look a bit. I don't like it. He's putting the shiny sides and stuff. I mean, I love you, Vlad, but I don't like that. That's something I really, really need to call out, regardless of how I feel about these guys. I don't like to see it because for me, it's distracting his physique and it kind of makes him look a bit wonky for me. But I mean, look at that. I mean, to be honest, mate, he's not far off this condition all year round. It's absolutely insane. Yeah.
Do you remember? It's probably been 4 or 5 years now. He posted this picture of his quad that was so vascular that a lot of people were expressing disgust.
Barry DeMay.
It was Barry DeMay.
Yeah, Barry DeMay was like, "This is not bodybuilding." And then do you know what? What sparked a memory? Remember the 1988 Battle for the Olympia video?
Yeah.
And do you remember when Barry DeMay, that was the year he took third, and that was considered his best ever look, his best ever year, and he posted Back to the Future, and U2 did the old the quad wobble. But it reminded me actually, that actual picture of Vlad reminded me of, ironically, of Berry DeMay doing hack squats. Because I remember he was doing 4 plates for 8 reps or something. And he's there with his Sony, the famous yellow Sony Walkman he had, which actually, he used to have wrapped with elastic band. And he remember, he gets off the machine. I think he does 6 or 8 reps. And he gets off and he starts flexing his quads. And the vascularity was exactly the same level as Vlad. So I thought the irony of that was certainly not lost on me. But unfortunately, many people wouldn't get it because they won't have seen that video, that classic Battle for the Olympia 1988 Battle for Gold, which we've all seen.
Yeah, that was,
look at Vlad.
You guys can find it online, probably. So we're talking about Battle for the Gold. It was an 88 Olympia.
Brilliant.
So that was the only year the Olympia was held in Los Angeles. And a lot of the guys they spent the last 4 or 6 weeks out in Venice, Santa Monica, training for the show out in LA. Gold's Venice every day was like walking into the Olympia. And this video was sort of a
wow.
Look at that.
You're
right.
That was one of my favorite. Go
ahead.
That was one of my favorite Olympias, that 1988 one. I mean, that was, if you need to hear us rambling on about how great posing was and presentation, go back and look at that video and every single posing routine. Phil Hill, Bob Perez, Lee Haney, Rich Gaspari, Lee Labrada, Sean Ray, Mohamed Benaziz. I mean, that Brian Buchanan. I mean, that shows Samir Banu. Every single posing routine is basically what I think he's really, really missed nowadays. But, don't get me on a posing rant because, posing and conditioning are my 2 things that I kind of, I have a real sort of, hankering for. But do you know what thing I like about Vlad, though? I mean, that kid has got heart. That kid trains. That he trains like his life depends on it every single day. Every single training video all year round. Kind of reminds me like how Nathan's been training in this last year. So, they are. Is this before or after the tricep tear?
Well, this was 7 weeks out from Chicago.
Because that outer tricep looks a bit weird to me. That looks a bit small to me. That looks a bit like misshapen. But I just hope he's. I love Vlad. He's awesome. He's awesome. He's a good kid as well. And I'm happy. He seems to be loving life out there in Dubai, isn't it? Not Kuwait. I always get Dubai and Kuwait mixed up.
We all do.
Which one is it? Which one is he?
He is in Dubai.
Because he trains at. Is it Banus? Is it?
Yeah.
Is it Banus Jimmy trains at? I don't want to get it wrong.
Yeah, Banus Gym. I'm pretty sure that's like the main place people have been training out there for years. And now I think there's an oxygen gym. I believe there's an oxygen gym there now too. So the 2 big rivals.
Yeah, because there's a lot of I get the impression there's a lot of rivalry, and I think that's why. Thing is, I think it works out great for the athletes because I think they kind of almost get into like a bidding war. I think because the athletes get so well looked after. Oh, is it the show?
Yeah, so this was Vancouver because I'm transitioning to Budesheim. Yeah, Vancouver. Tim Budesheim got second place to John Jewett.
Because obviously I've been.
You've been on the road. You've been too busy. But why don't you take a look at how Tim looked at the judging for that show?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it was a clear win for John, but Tim.
I was really happy to see him.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I was really, really happy to see Tim kind of because imagine he's been away from home in Germany. He's been away for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, and I don't think he went home, but he was getting like kind of disappointing places. I don't know, like second call out, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, those kind of placings. But to see him get like to stay out there all that time and he's doing all these collab videos and to finally see him really, really nail it and get a really good placing. I mean, second place is. That means the judges are really, and also it means you're really bringing it because he started off. And I mean, this was, which show was this one now, Ron? Which one's this? Is this France?
This was
this is France. I think when was this?
That was last year. 2023.
So what year was last year? Yeah, so you can see he looks kind of watery and a little bit, he's not really popping here like I've seen him in years past. So, it's nice to see him. Get a really good placing at an overseas show because now he can go home. He's obviously got Chicago today. I mean, he can conceivably win that. I mean, would you say he's one of the favorites coming in, Ron?
Absolutely. I mean, this is a very good lineup, but there's nobody here who's like a top 6 or top 10 Olympia guy that we're like, oh well, there's your winner right there. It's not like that. So I think it's one of those open shows where. There's a few guys. Hassan, if in shape, could take it. Tim's in shape. We got Vlad. We got Phil Clahar, Foda. We got a couple more guys we haven't even talked about that I think are capable of winning the show. So this was Tim in Vancouver.
I mean, in some ways, these shows are kind of the more exciting ones because I saw somebody said, "Oh, I'm not excited about this lineup," and I'm like, "Well, yeah, but why would you not be excited about a show that you don't know who's going to win?" I mean, like you said, there's Phil Clahar, there's Tim Budesheim, Mohamed Foda. You've reeled off, like a list of names there of potentials that, really, really all have the capabilities of winning this show. Like you said, there's no top 6 Olympia guys that you think, oh, well, even if they show up 90%, they're probably likelihood going to win. Like Vancouver last week. I mean, that was a pretty wide open show. God, look at Tim here. This is the condition I've wanted to see from Tim, in the last couple of years. Because like I said, I saw him at San Marino 2017, and because that's where he took 4th place.
Yeah.
Out of 30 guys. He turned pro the day before at the Amateur Olympia. And since then, even though he's got bigger and his physique has developed, he's never really nailed the conditioning that like he did in San Marino since. And it's frustrating when you see these guys and their physique is developing and they're just really, really like falling short with the conditioning. And then you see all these, like I said, these kind of update pictures with imposing rooms and you think, God, he looks amazing. And then he gets to stage and then they don't quite look as good. The physique doesn't quite translate, or maybe they've got it just under good lighting or they've got a good filter on it. But it's nice to see that he actually, he really, really brought it. I wonder what he did differently. I wonder whether it was just a case of just staying on prep, and whether that was the factor. Because, what is this? His 3rd or 4th show in a row now.
Yeah,
he's done Vancouver. He's doing Chicago. He did what are the other shows he did?
He was a New York pro back in May.
New York. So hang on, we're in bloody July now. So he's been on prep. He's been in condition for a long time. So imagine if you were if you were like competing from May to June to July, and every single time you keep falling short, and that you're literally, you could be 2, 3, 4 spots higher if your conditioning was absolutely nailed. So it must be very frustrating for an athlete to keep missing the mark, especially when you've been in better condition, and trying to get all that new size, like dried out and shredded and stuff. It must be frustrating for, and I'd be interested to see what he did differently. This is why I'd like to still have Global in a way, because I'd love to get him on and maybe find out and say, look, what exactly was so different from this show as to the other shows, and why you finally nailed the conditioning. What exactly is it? What exactly did you do differently? Was it just the old school 0 carb? Did you just, you hear these crazy stories. I just basically went, fuck it. I'm just going to go fish and greens for 2 weeks every meal, and throw up, and feel sick every time of the day. But 2 hours of cardio, and to really go into that dark place, to go to those lengths of real extremes. But that even though it's going to be absolutely torture and it's going to be horrible to do, that's what you need to do to get that really last bit of condition. Because like in his lats and stuff like that. I mean, I'm 2017. I saw him with almost like Dorian level, crazy lat striations. And he's really, really made the most of this trip over to America, because I pictured Keon, Derek Lunsford. He's done. Who else did he do some collab? Was it Jay Cutler I saw do a collab with?
Yeah, I think so. He was just there with Dennis Wolf as well.
Yeah, Dennis Wolf. So he's really made the most of this trip, because at the end of the day, getting good placings and doing all these international shows is a very, very good thing, and it's a good idea to get your name out there, your profile, good for sponsors, and getting good placings. But also, you want to make the most of these things with things like photo shoots. With there is at Flex Lewis's gym. So he's in Vegas. He's been. He's been in Florida, so he's been East Coast, West Coast. I mean, he's really made the most of it. He's been good. I hope it's done wonders for his profile, and I hope his sponsors are happy with him, because this is really he's been away from home for a long time. He's got kids as well, hasn't he?
Oh, I didn't know that. You just gave me an idea, because I did speak to him. I didn't know how good his English was, but I did get a minute outside New York Pro. He was outside sitting on a bench.
It's good enough.
And it's very good. His English is certainly better than my German. No,
well, hang on. I interviewed him in, I think it must have been 21 or 22, and I'm global. And he's because he had a really bad cold. He got blown in his nose all the time. But he's every now and again. This was that was at least 2 to 3 years ago. And every time he didn't understand, he put like a translate thing on his phone. But we got through it. We got through it with no translator or no third person. So, and I imagine his English is even better now. Oh, there he is with Lois Lane or Rachel Daniels.
Yeah. And I don't want to make this all about Tim because we have a few guys to get to, but it seems like he's doing a really good job of seeking out the best people, mentors, people that can help him in various ways with posing, training, whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. He's humbled himself and say, you can always be better. There's always more to learn. I'm going to find the best people at various aspects of bodybuilding that can help me. And he is getting to the next level. I mean, 3-4 years ago, how many American fans even knew who Tim Budesheim was?
Yeah. I remember when he was a junior competing at the 2011 All Europe, and I was watching it with Flex Wheeler, and it was funny because I'm not saying he was this size, but he was like, he was like 70% as big as this. Yeah. Well, in my eyes, in my memory, he was. And he was up against guys that basically did look like juniors. I mean, he won everything as a junior. It was ridiculous. So that was in 2011. So he's still only, 2011, so 13 years ago. So he's still only like early 30s now, and he's been around for he turned pro in 2017 at the Amateur Olympia in San Marino. And then the next day, imagine that. And then the next day, because he won the heavyweight, so he was under 100 kilo. Okay. And then he got call out with Brandon Curry, Cedric McMillan, Hadi Chupin, and Brandon. And so that was he got fourth place, and that was 30. So imagine that day before amateur, the next day you're getting called out with the Mr. Olympia and two Mr. Olympias there, and pretty good.
I mean, I think that you've talked about that show so many times, but it seems like that might have been the greatest show that wasn't an Olympia or a New York Pro or Arnold Classic as far as a lineup that 2017. If you look at the lineup: Brandon Curry, Cedric McMillan, Hadi, was Sean Roden in that show too?
No. That was the All Europe in 2017. That was a good one as well. The 2017 All Europe. That was when Ramy won it, and it was really, really flip of a coin between him and Bonac, because I had Bonac beating Ramy at the 2017 Olympia, because Ramy was second to Phil Heath, Bonac was third, but I actually had it the other way around. And then when they went on to the Arnold Europe a few weeks later, which was it was a really weird atmosphere because it was just after the split. And Raphael was there, Steve Weinberger was there, so you can imagine. It was like and I went up and I said hello to Raphael, and I said hello to everyone. I said hello to Steve, everyone, and he looked at me like that. Like I tapped him on the shoulder, and he was really jumpy. Like there was a really strange atmosphere because obviously they'd split, but they still had to do this show. This bodybuilding show was really weird because they knew it was the end, and I can't imagine there was much. I can't imagine Steve and Raphael were going for lunch together. Put it that way.
Probably not.
It was tense. It was so tense.
Yeah. Let's go. We talked about the younger guys. This is one of the older guys, and I'm older than all of you people watching probably. I really root for Phil because Phil Clahar, the Jamaican tank. We both know and love Phil and his wife Patty. Great people. Yeah. This guy's got the heart of a lion. Keeps coming back. I'm going to go back to 2021 when his better years. He's been consistently good. This is a guy who turned pro later in life, but he's really made a go of it. He's got a pro win. He won the Orlando Pro Show, and last year I think we'll find some footage on his Instagram. He almost won the Masters Mr. Olympia if it hadn't been for some pesky Libyan guy named Kamal El Garni.
Yeah, he was very, very close. Very, very close. I mean, I think was his best because that was the Tampa. He looked good there. But do you remember when he did the Texas? And there was him, Valier, and Steve Kuklo. Yep. And all three of them absolutely nailed it. It was the first year of the Texas Pro. And it was a real three-way fight because each one of them was as good as each other. And each of them had, better poses and stuff like that. But it was such a close-fought show. It was because all three of them brought their absolute. I think all three of them brought probably their best looks that I've ever personally seen. So that was a really exciting one. And so that Phil knows how to bring really, really good conditioning. Yeah. So he's very, very good. Yeah. And he was the Masters Olympia one of his because he looked a little bit because when he came out by himself, I remember watching the live stream thinking, shit, he's got this. Yeah. And then I didn't expect Kamal to come out looking the way he did. And that was a real close one. But like you said, he's come close to winning the Masters Olympia. So, not bad. Yeah,
I want to see if I can find some footage of that show on his Instagram because that was a great look too. I mean, he's consistent. You don't see Phil ever. He's never been like off. I don't think. Well, it's still showing. I want to stop that screen.
But Ron, he's not really been coming up on my feed. Has he been posting much, or is it just he's not coming up on my my Instagram feed? Because I didn't know he was competing. He's kept this really kind of quiet, or like I said, or is it just he just hasn't been, popping up?
Well, let's see what he's been posting lately. Oh, I got it. I know I did wrong there. Okay, so we got that up. Okay, so this is obviously this was Friday night at the Mr. Olympia.
Yeah,
that was a 2022 Olympia, I think.
You sure it wasn't last year?
23. Yeah, you're right. 2023. That's right.
Because he didn't. Yeah, because he was disappointed because he didn't place in top 15.
Right.
But it's no shame in not placing top 15 at Olympia.
This was 7 weeks ago. Yeah, let's see. I'll look at the stories, but yeah, he hasn't been posting a lot of updates. But sometimes that's the way to do it. This is also from last. Yeah, 23 Olympia.
Yeah, he's kept it quiet. Maybe sometimes that's either a very good sign or a very bad sign. But yeah, I've done some great interviews with Phil, some really great ones. Yeah, I'm just remembering them now. Actually,
let's see. Yeah, I'll always check the stories because a lot of times the most recent updates are on the stories. No, we just got. Oh, look at that! What a good guy!
Hey, I saw that. I reposted that.
Thank you. No, thank you, Phil. Thank you, Phil and Patty. I think Patty handles his Instagram.
Tell you what, though, because when I saw that, I thought Ron's really got it right there with those 4 guys, because any of those 4 guys could win this.
Oh, 100%. And there's not to say that there's more people there that aren't capable of winning. Sometimes I feel bad because I'll put like 3 or 4 guys, because you can't put more than 4 guys in a thumbnail. Yeah. But we've seen shows where there's 5 guys, maybe even more, that are capable of winning. And I don't want to slight anybody. I hate doing that. I'm not. So it's not intentional, guys. If you're not on a thumbnail, it doesn't mean I don't think you have a chance of winning.
Do you obviously every year you always get the people kicking off, especially on the comments when the Olympia posters go out, and they'll have like 10 people on there like, why haven't you put so and so? Why have you not put so and so? And it's like, look, they're going to do several posters. It's not they're not sort of putting it out there of who's going to win and who's not. I mean, they don't get with the judges and say, right, guys, who have we got? Even though we haven't seen them yet, or how they're going to look on stage, or whether you're going to make it to the stage. Who have we got as our first, second, and third before we've even seen them go on stage yet? Because we'd really like to put it on a poster to really put the word out. It's like people read so much into it. I mean. It does make me laugh, and it makes me because the people it must really piss the Olympia organizers off. Like Dan Matlock must really annoy them when you see all these comments. I mean, I think the best way is just to completely ignore it and just accept that people are going to complain no matter what.
And I've also heard people say, "Well, looks like they've already got their winners picked out because that's the poster."
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. It's like it's like, no, guys, it's not. They don't. They don't really put that much thought into all that kind of nonsense.
It's not that deep, guys. It's really
basically, yeah.
Let's go on to. Let's first take a look at him. This is Nathan Epler, who is a 212 guy from Indiana.
Oh, yes.
Not a 212 guy anymore, but let's take a look at what he used to look like. This was 2021 New York Pro when he won that. He also took 5th place at the 212 Olympia that year on his debut.
He did.
I think we both felt the same way about him. Great physique. He just needs to fill out. He was pretty tall.
Ron, have you seen him now?
I've seen him. We're going to look at it in a second, but I want people to
see
this is the old Nathan. This was 3 years ago.
Well, the old Nathan, the new Nathan ate the old Nathan. Because I tell you what, I saw an update. Well, was it 2 weeks ago? And it's funny because it went out and there wasn't a lot of comments and a lot of views, and I couldn't believe. I thought maybe it's just literally just being posted, and I was freaking out. I mean, I was absolutely. He's got so much going on in his physique, and I just there's so much detail and separation and things happening, and I really, really rate this guy. I really do, and I think I would go as far to say, even though he's been top 5 in the Olympia in the 212, I think he's seriously underrated, and I think. I mean, here's a guy that could take out, like the Phil Clahars, the Mohamed Fodas, the Hassan Mostafa, the Vlad. I mean, these are considered the big guys, but Nathan's coming out of the 212, so he's not going to be like a 260, 270 guy. But I think he's one of the guys that really, if these bigger guys aren't bringing their A game and they're not in condition, he will take out 1 or 2 of these guys, guaranteed.
So here he is now. This was a few days ago.
He's amazing. I love his physique. Look at the delts, look at the tiny waist, shoulder to waist, quads, and it's from the back, and like the lats when he pulls his arms back, and he just, I really, really rate this guy. I really like his physique. What do you think, Ron?
It's amazing. In fact, if you go to that first shot again, I would normally be looking for like the doorway to be bending or something in a picture like this.
He's brought his arms up as well.
Yeah, I mean, well, like I said, when he was at 212, I said this in an interview to John Jewett the other day. That's up on this channel, guys. Please check it out. I liked John as a 212, but I wasn't thrilled. I didn't think he was great. I think he's a much better open guy because his frame needed more muscle. And Nathan is a much more extreme example of that. I think his frame was capable of holding a lot more thickness and density and muscle. And look at him now.
Nathan was one of those. He's about 5'8", isn't he? Because he's one of the taller 212s.
Yeah.
So this is why he was one of the guys that even in that first year in 212, he really struggled to make 212. So, and he was another one that I thought, oh, I don't know whether he should go open. But thing is, I mean, like what he's bringing now and what he's done with his physique is, I think he's. I'm glad he, like the Tonio Burtons, the John Jewett. He's another guy that's made the transition from 212 to open, and it seems to have been a really, really wise move and very successful. Because, but I'm telling you, here's another guy. I think him and Mo Foda are the two that maybe some people aren't considering to be like a real threat here. But I'm telling you, do not underestimate this guy.
He's been off the grid for a while too, so I'm sure a lot of people forgot. Yeah. I kind of forgot about him. Like, oh yeah, Nathan Epler. Yeah. He opened up a gym over in Indiana. He's been a busy guy, and he did it the right way. A lot of guys will make that transition, and they probably should have waited a little longer and put some more size on. Yeah. He took his time and waited until he was ready to do damage. And this is, like you said, this is a guy that under any given circumstances, we don't know what's going to happen. This could win the show. You never know.
He's very complete, mate. Very complete. He's very, I mean, really, like, look at him now. He hasn't got a weak body. He used to have quite, his arms are a little bit of a weakness, but looks like he's really brought them up now. I just love his back shots. I just love, like, look at the lower, not even just the lats. He's got top to toe, like in all of his back. Like you see guys like, they're very big around the scapula, but then nothing happens beneath the scapula. From there to the glutes, there's nothing going on. I think he's got one of the most complete backs, I think, in the Pro League right now. I really, really rate this guy.
Yeah. No, I wish him the best of luck. I think he's got a great chance, and we'll see.
Cool.
Let's move on. There's some more guys.
Brilliant. Look at his lats there. Wow.
Let's give some love to Korea. Seungchul Lee. Yeah, I mean, and I always point this out because there's this stereotype that Koreans or Chinese are shorter. This guy's not short. He's every inch of 6 foot, if not more. I've stood next to him a couple of times. So massive guy with beautiful shape. Issues I've seen from him in the past are just basically tan and condition. Yeah, I think he's figured out the tan and
his arms. Wow, he delts. He reminds me a little bit of Kevin Navrone for some reason. I don't know why. But I mean, I'm not saying he's in that league yet. But this was the one where he beat Samson. This is where Samson was stuck in the hotel room, and then he beat him by 1 point, didn't he? And then he went and got 12th at Olympia. This was 2020, I want to say.
It must have been 20. It must have been that first COVID year.
Yeah.
Bloody COVID.
Yeah.
He's better than this now. He's figured things out, but he's pretty damn tough. If this guy nailed his condition, because I've never seen him really dialed in.
What show was it he did a couple of months ago?
Oh, I didn't know he had competed this year.
Yeah. He's done one. He's done a season. I'm sure he did. Oh shit!
I'm gonna go to his Instagram. I'll tell you.
Yeah. It was he did okay. He did okay, but it was a really I think it was Cali. I think he did Cali, and I'm sure I've got like 7th, 8th in my head at the Cali Pro a couple of months ago.
You're right. We got that footage coming up. Yeah, I just want to look because this is beautiful footage. That's why I'm letting it linger.
It's nice.
The lighting. Anytime I can find, because a lot of times you look up posing routines on YouTube, and it's like a copy of a copy of a copy, and the resolution is crap.
There you go. The Cali Pro there, and Milos is prepping him now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think he's actually been out there training with Milos as well. So Milos has been putting him through. See, this is probably the best condition I've seen from Seung. It still needs to bring that back up, doesn't he? His condition looks really good here, even just these crappy shots,
Yeah, I've never seen his glutes striated, and they were striated there.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is from a distance.
I like his physique. It's very, like I said, it just needs that little bit more, conditioning and fullness and everything. But when he just takes it to that next level with that structure and that size and the nice wide shoulders and got big full arms. His physique flows really well, I think.
Yeah, there's another guys. A lot of the guys we talk about on these previews, so forth, they're what I call second call out guys. But usually, every guy in that we call a second call out guy, he's just one step away from getting to that next level of being a first call out guy.
Yep.
It's fixing something like condition or maybe a body part, and we've both seen people that pulled ahead in the ranks, and they're all the way up to the top now.
Well, look what Samson did. I mean, 2020, 21, he was a second call-out guy. He was like, anywhere from 5th to 8th. He was kind of, he was always going to occupy those spaces in most pro shows.
Yeah.
But then, he just basically, like what Ronnie did in 2003, he just basically pulled it out the bag and then just went to the next level, just to show what can be done, when you really, really just apply, effort to every aspect of bodybuilding. Crazy on that footage, I must admit.
Even Ronnie Coleman at one time was what we call a second call out guy. He was the last call out guy at the start. He really was. Let's move on. Just a couple more. This guy was just outside the top 5 in Vancouver. Slavoj Bednar from Czech Republic.
Big dude.
He's a real workhorse. Keeps plugging away at the shows. And this is another guy, I think, he's on the cusp of being a first call-out guy. Actually, I take it back because he wasn't a first call-out at the Vancouver show.
Mate, he's had some good placings. I think he's been top 6 in a couple of shows. I've seen him, and he's one of these guys that, like, if I look at this footage now, I've seen him in the flesh, and he's actually really big. I mean, it's weird because it doesn't really reflect in this footage. He looks just like but he's very, he's a big guy, really, really big guy.
There he is there on the left with Robin Strand. Yeah, I mean, when you put him up on stage with other big guys, that's when you can get an idea. He's not being outmasked by Robin, Tim, John, Hussein.
Obviously, I was on the tour. I wasn't really paying too much attention to the Vancouver, but was it a clear win from John? Because he looked bloody good here.
Yeah, I had him clearly winning. I thought the shape, Tim's got all kinds. Tim Budesheim has all kinds of size and condition. Was really, really impressive. I think it was a shape and structure issue. John just has more of a V taper and just a prettier shape to him, and he's got massive condition.
Any idea what John weighed?
Yeah, he was 232.
Wow. So it was definitely a good move going from 212 to open then.
And that was he won the Vancouver. No, I'm sorry, not the Vancouver. He won the Atlanta Pro 1 year ago at 212 exactly.
Wow.
And this year it was the same. It was 1 year, 365 days to the day. He won the Vancouver Pro, which was with 20 pounds stage weight, and his waist still looks nice and small and tight.
That's incredible. I really like John as well. He's a cool guy.
Oh, exactly. I mean, guys. I want to keep plugging the interview because it was a great interview. He's such a cool guy, and he's so well spoken. Not the bodybuilders are dumbasses, but he is brilliant. He's got J3 University. He's got his own damn online university. That's how good he is. Let's move on to Stanimal, Stan De Longeaux. Great guy. Let me stop this. So Stan did not get a great look in Vancouver, but I'm sure he's going to be trying to redeem himself. This was 1 day out. He was. I think he was a little flat in Vancouver. It cost him dearly. So this is a guy that started out as a pro in men's physique with the board shorts.
Crazy.
True story. Moved on to classic physique, and now we're looking at a difference between the time he turned pro and today. I think it's about 40-pound difference.
Wow.
Something. Yeah. So here's I don't think he looked bad. He did not look bad.
Looks bloody good there. Looks good there. I mean, thing is, if it's a flatness issue, then that can be rectified in a week. It looks pretty good there. Where did he place in Vancouver, mate?
I don't think he was. I'm gonna have to look. I don't think he was in the top 10.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, it was a good lineup. I mean, Beef Stew was bloody 5th, so that shows you, and he's no slouch.
Now I got to check. It bothers me when I can't remember because my memory is horrible as it is. Results. It was only 10 guys. Stan De Longeaux was 8th place. And there were 11 men. So
that's not bad. No,
I mean, when people say that, it sounds bad, but that doesn't. You don't know who those other 7 guys ahead of him were.
Well, it was a better Vancouver lineup than the year before.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
And they got paid in cash. I found out.
Yeah, you said that. I was like, "What do you mean by cash?" And you went, "Well, he got paid in cash backstage."
Like a big stack of bills,
What a cash in a carrier bag. There you go.
Yeah. No, I mean, and then someone corrected a guy. He might be on the chat now. He corrected me. He said a lot of European promoters back in the old days, that was standard practice.
Wow.
Because you're over in Romania or something. I don't want to single out any country, but you're over in some country thousands of miles away, and you get a check from somebody. There might be a little concern that you get back to the USA and try to cash it, and it might not clear.
Yeah, but hang on a minute. You don't want to be walking around with bloody, or if you know all the competitors backstage, you're walking out with pockets full of cash. I mean, it's a good way to get yourself bloody mugged. If the word gets out that all the competitors have been paid in cash, or they give it to them on stage in cash, I think that's a bit dodgy, to be honest, mate. That sounds a bit. That sounds like a bit of a setup. I'd maybe have the promoter have some guys mug them and get the money back afterwards.
Oh, good Lord.
Give it to them next year.
So that's it. That's the open conversation we're going to have. 212, I see this as the clear favorite. Talking about Bo Lewis. Bo was second place. Very, very strong second place last weekend to Kareth Baggio at the Atlanta Pro. Kareth I interviewed on this channel. Please check that out. It's on the same channel here a couple days ago. He just missed it. Beat David Henry in third, and David looked pretty damn good. So this is
who was third, sorry?
David Henry.
Oh, Dave Henry was third. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. He's still going strong then.
So Bo is obviously, he's won the show before. He's won the New York Pro. Mm-hmm. Has yet to sort of crack a top placing at the Olympia, but he's well on his way. He also won the Puerto Rico Pro one year. Check out his Insta. So what I did see from Atlanta last weekend with him was a better conditioning than I've never seen him really grainy and dry.
Yeah.
Now we're seeing that. So let me go to that.
That's good. I really rate him. He's awesome. Absolutely awesome.
So look at that. This is definitely the best I've seen.
Do you remember when he was up against Jason Lowe?
Yeah.
Do you remember the New York Pro? Yeah, and it was really close. And I remember Jason had the back shots, but then Bo had this deck trick, whatever you call him. Because he's got really nice side shots. His side tricep and his side chest are absolutely fantastic. He's got good back shots. He's got nice flow to his upper body, nice V taper. And if his conditions improve, like I said, I haven't really had a chance to study the Vancouver yet because obviously I was away. But he looks really, really. Look at that. He looks dense there, doesn't he? Looks really dense.
I've never seen that level of detail on this guy before. So
he stepped it up.
Andrew Vu, who I apologize to Andrew because a lot of times I'll rattle off a list of top coaches that just pop in my head. And for whatever reason, it's not a personal thing. His name never comes in, but he's a very good, very consistent coach, Andrew Vu out of Texas.
He's a name that over here in Europe I recognize and respect. So, he must be on. He must be good if he's kind of on all the way over here on the radar, So, I hear only good things about him.
Yeah. Dektrick, his arms got even bigger. When he turned pro, his legs were not like this. They were pretty mediocre. Yeah. And Kevin Leveroni sort of mentored him for a little while. And then I was able to speak with him a few times because Hector knows him. They're all both in the Nashville area. And he would ask me, what do I need? I said, leave your arms and your chest, your shoulders, they're done. You don't need to do it. Just maintain those and get those legs up. More of a sweep, and he's done it. He's they're not Tom Platt's legs. Very few guys are, but they're way better than they used to be. Yeah. Wishing him best of luck. All right.
He's a cool guy as well. I've interviewed him a couple of times. He's really I like him. He's a good dude.
Deepest voice in the IFBB.
Yeah.
Like Barry White puts Barry White to shame.
Probably his voice broke when he was 8 years old.
So I think it's time, because we're live, let's go to some comments. These actually came in before we even started recording. Charlie is in a different time zone. He's 2 hours behind us, it looks like. Very open. How will Mustafa look now? Exactly. We don't know. Can Tim bring the same or better with Vancouver?
Hang on. Sorry to interrupt. Foda's working with Kinzel, so he's not working with Chris Cito, Hani Rambod anymore.
I didn't think he was working with Hani anymore, but let's.
Oh wow! Okay. I didn't register. Okay, interesting.
Let me go to the Boss of Outlaw Instagram and see if he's got any pictures with him.
Yeah. Why did he stop working with Hani though? I mean, that's like surely Hani's very selective who he works with. I mean, I wonder what happened there.
I don't think Hani has time to work with that many people. He is a very busy guy. I'm looking at Stefan's. Stefan's got a picture with Nathan Bonak. I
honestly, I think Mohamed Foda. I think he's one of these ones that, if he went to a next level, he's the one that really is. He's one that could like literally jump into the top 6 at the Olympia, like literally come out. He's one of those ones that could be the shot. Every Olympia, there's always someone that jumps up or pulls a surprise out. I think he's one of those ones that could really, if he really, really nailed it and really made a few tweaks to his physique and made some significant improvements, even on one prep. I think he's one of the guys that really could really sort of be, his name could explode overnight, basically what I'm trying to say.
Well, Rick confirms it. He's on Boss of Outlaws Instagram stories.
There you go.
Check him, yeah. So wish him the best of luck. Stefan's really come up in the ranks as far as a name coach over the past couple of years too.
I was with him last weekend. He was in the VIP room at the Amsterdam Euromuscle Expo.
Okay, you interviewed.
We were with him. He was because Wesley was there, obviously. I mean, I was on stage with him. I did a bloody talk with him.
You did?
I hosted it. Stefan was on my left, and then there was Wesley, and then James Hollinshead, and we talked for like an hour. I had a chat with Stefan, the M-Pro, a few weeks ago. And I like him. He's a really nice guy. Very, very. I mean, really, he's probably the hottest kind of name in coaching at the moment. He's the in thing. He's the one that everyone's raving about. But obviously, Bonak and Nathan and Wesley, Urs. He's really, really, and he's consistently knocking it out the park as well. I mean, it's hit after hit after hit after hit. And when you get one hit with a coach, then everyone's scrambling to work with them. So then they're literally they're turning people away and being very careful and very choosy who they work with. Like 1 minute it's Patrick Tour, then it's Chris Aceto, then it's Hani Rambod, and But I would say he's in the top 5 like most talked about coaches in the world right now, and we're talking in the entire world. So whereas a couple of years ago no one even knew who this guy was. So he's really leveled up, and I like him as well. He's a cool guy, very, very cool guy.
I remember Urs. I think Urs was the first big name that I heard of him.
Yeah.
And he's like Boss of Outlaw, what's that? Boss.
I know. I was like, who? This name keeps popping up, and then, it was actually Urs that introduced him to Nathan, and because Urs did a seminar at Nathan's gym, and then I think Nathan and Thingy were talking. Nathan and Urs were talking. I think Nathan was like on about working with someone, and I think Urs was the one who suggested to come work with Stefan. He's really, really good. He's a great guy. I'll introduce you. Make the introduction. And see, M12, Mo Foda coming for the win. I wouldn't be shocked if he won this, just because I'm telling you, people don't know. It's not that people, it's just that he hasn't competed enough. They don't know how good he is. And I'm telling you, he's bloody good.
Yeah. David, I did not see the Masters in Tampa, the pictures, so I don't know. Yeah, like I said, they did a whole day and night yesterday of just Masters. In fact, I'm going to show you someone. Great show, guys. Thanks, Jen. Thank you, Jen.
Hey, Jen.
Jen, thanks. Hair looks great. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Ron, I keep forgetting about your hair. It looks amazing, mate. Do you know what, mate? I'm starting to think now I might be needing some myself. So I might have a little trip to Turkey. I might have to knock a few more tours out to try and pay for it.
I'm trying to see like where you're even losing, because you shave your hair so close.
Do you know what? I actually saw a video of somebody who was following us. And what was it? Some camera was on me, and I went, guys, look at my hair. It's really around the back. It's really, because I've got really thick hair. That's why I have to keep it so short, because it looks a mess otherwise. I literally had it cut yesterday. Yeah. And it's getting a little bit thin at the back. I'll never have long hair though. No, I mean, your hair looks beautiful though. You look 20 years younger.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm never gonna have long hair either. It's not a good look for me.
You got like a proper side parting now as well. Look at that.
Well, until I get, because you're not supposed to touch it with clippers, so like you're not supposed to really cut this except with scissors for 6 months.
Why?
I don't. It's like it can, if you use like clippers, it can damage the shafts or something. So I'm not taking any chances. I mean, I quit smoking pot, and I love pot. But
have you completely knocked it on the head now? Still?
Yeah.
Really? Well, do you know what, mate? I'm really, really pleased to hear that. That's really good. When you see people, because you were really into it, we used to do a lot of it, and I think anything to that excess is not good, really.
Oh, 100%. I want to give a shout out because a woman from my gym, she did go to the Masters. She won the over 50 and over 55 figure. So she goes to my gym and she won Tim's 2 Masters figure for 50 and 55 plus. It's Danielle.
Well done.
Great job. Yeah. My gym has got a lot of bodybuilding talent, believe it or not. A lot of competitive. There's Carlos.
Could we see you in the over 50s or over 55s one day, Ron?
No, honestly.
Why not?
I'll tell you, my physique has gone south in several ways. So I've got the hernia. My midsection, it got bigger over the years. I don't think there's any turning back once you get it to a certain thickness.
I think you need to back off on your food intake.
I do eat a lot.
You eat a lot. And I think when you get to a certain age, I think you like even being around like someone like Ronnie and all these different people, when they get to like plus 40, plus 50, I think actually it's actually not very good for your health to eat the amount of volume of food. And to be honest, like I've had to try and force because I can easily eat 6 meals a day. It's not a problem for me. I could do that standing on my head. It's easy, very easy for me. And I've had to train my body down to like 3 to 4 meals.
Oh, no.
And otherwise, seriously, mate, otherwise you're tied to it. Like when I'm traveling and stuff like that, I can't. If your body's used to getting 6 meals a day and then you're going touring or you're traveling doing live stream or covering shows or whatever like that, it's really stressful when your body gets that hungry. Yes. So I've actually really tried to slow I don't eat breakfast till 11, 12 in the morning. I kind of intermittent fast. I get up at like 7. Yeah. So I'll just drink water, I have a coffee, and I just drink water till 12, and then I do my cardio, then I eat. But I think it's really good to let your digestive system, I think, because otherwise you can get serious health issues, mate. Serious health issues. I think you've got to, you can't eat like you did in your 20s, is basically what I'm trying to say.
You hit the nail on the head when you just said you're tied to that eating schedule.
It's too much.
My whole day revolves around 5 solid meals and a shake. So
but Ron, you won't lose any size, mate. You won't. You've got to get the thing is it's expensive as well to eat all that food and prepare all that food. It's a pain in the ass.
A lot of meat.
God, I remember when I used to be competing and I'd have to literally eat a meal, then I'd be running to the supermarket and I'd be thinking shit, because like when you know what it's like when you're prepping, if your body's expecting a meal at 4:30, it gets to 4:29 and 4:30 you go from feeling not hungry to starving. There's no in between. It's just like doosh. And it's like, you need to eat, and then you're frightened, you're going to go catabolic, and you start freaking out, and you're going to lose size. And that's obviously to one extreme, but I can't be tied to food. If I could get away with 3 meals a day, I would, but I think, 4 is more, because otherwise it's just a pain in the ass. I feel like you're just tied to the house and tied to the bloody kitchen. You don't need to be, because you're not competing anymore.
No, you're describing my situation exactly. I mean, my whole
train your body down. Seriously, let your body have your digestive system have a rest, and try things like intermittent fasting. And honestly, mate, you'll have more energy. You'll feel so much better. Your digestive system's better, because otherwise your body then is constantly trying to just constantly digest food and protein. And I think after decades, I think the body gets a bit sick of it.
Yeah, no, I have situations coming up where it would actually be advantageous for me not to be tied to eating 6 times a day. So I think the stars are coming into alignment now.
Push it down to 5, then push it down to 4. Over a couple of months, you'll do it, and you might feel a bit hungry, but you'll see as well, you won't lose sight. Once you start, is it something is it no food for 14 hours where you actually start to actually cannibalize muscle tissue? So once you get past that, I'm not going to lose size if I don't eat for 4 hours. I think as long as your body gets what it needs throughout the day, you can eat a lot less.
It's funny. Dana Lynn Bailey, you guys all know DLB. We did an interview a couple of years ago, and it was maybe a year and a half ago. She was doing intermittent fasting, and she said the best thing, one of the best things about it, aside from all the health benefits and everything, is just she's so much more productive. She goes, I don't even know how bodybuilders get things done in their lives because they're eating all the time.
Exactly.
You're always getting a meal ready, eating a meal, cleaning up after a meal. I always say it's, as a bodybuilder, which is horrible, it's either I need to eat, I'm eating, or I just ate. You're always in one of those 3 states. So.
Yeah, exactly. And to be honest, I I don't compete anymore, but that's something I couldn't go through again. I mean, like three to 4 meals a day, 3 meals even in a protein drink actually is perfect for me. And I only eat carbs probably once a day as well.
Wow, and
200 grams of sweet potato or the wild rice, basmati rice, a little bit of fruit in the morning. But apart from that, because I mean, it's really beneficial for my blood sugar to keep my carbs down anyway.
Someone just pointed out someone that we did not mention, so let's go to him because he's actually a pretty good competitor. Like I said, in these previews, guys, if I leave people out, sometimes it's omission that's not out of malice or it's just negligence, really, on my part. It's also because we don't want to be here for 3 hours. But Leang, so this is Shuming or Liang Yang.
Oh shit! Oh my god, you can't believe you missed him off.
I know, I'm the worst. So this guy turned pro as a 212, I believe. No,
heavyweight in Romania, 22.
Right, and then he did the 212 the next day, correct? Or did he do open?
No, he did open. He did open because he was 220. And I remember because that Radislav Angelov was in the hotel, and he said, Giles, he says, he said, just in case you're wondering, he says he's doing the open because he was worried that he was going to do the 212 because Radislav ended up winning the 212. Wow. And he was worried that Liang was going to do the open because he was like, I said, well, unless if he does something that requires him to lose 10 pounds overnight, that's going to be very, very dangerous. So I think he's sticking his open, but he did great last year, isn't it? That's him in Italy, the Flex Pro last year. Yeah. He was top 5, wasn't he? He was absolutely awesome.
Look at that, Felipe Moreau, great photograph right there.
He's a beast.
Wow, yeah. So I apologize, my fans of Leang or Shuming. He was actually with he was a Leveroni athlete for a brief time. I don't think he's still. That's
right. I was with Kevin last week. I was with him. I let you a few days ago.
Yeah. We interviewed him.
He was out in Amsterdam. No, I didn't. I was with Ronnie. We were still at the hotel, so I missed the one with Bonac and Kevin because obviously Ronnie's the priority. So we got there like an hour late, so I missed that one. But then I did the Wesley, Stefan, and James Hollinshead, and then I did 2 with Ronnie on stage, and then I did one with oh god, I've forgotten his name, the strongman, Mitchell Cooper.
Oh, okay, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, they said, oh, could you interview a strongman? And I went, I'll give it a go, and we were going for an hour. So like with very little knowledge, I did a couple of like pointers of how to interview this guy, what they wanted me to talk about, and boom, we did an hour, absolutely flat out. It was brilliant. So it's nice to know that. Even if they throw challenges like that at me, I can still interview different, things that aren't necessarily strictly just purely bodybuilding.
Strongman is an entirely different discipline than bodybuilding. So props to you.
It was good. It was a good talk, actually. We talked all about diet and, and obviously the differences between bodybuilding and strongman. And, but Liang, anyway, I mean, I think he's awesome. You got to see this guy in the flesh. When he took 5th in Romania, the next day in the pros, and I remember because we walked straight past me because they walked through the audience for the amateur, and he walked past me, and I just couldn't believe how thick he was.
What is a collab tiger?
Collaborate.
Oh, a collaboration. I thought.
When did I say that?
Oh, because he was when you said that Tim Budesheim was collabing with different people when he was doing the video.
Yeah,
that's a collab. I thought it was a kind of dog, like a Labrador Retriever. Is there a collab? Maybe. So, Raymond Jones, thanks for being here again, Raymond. So, that's Phil, right. Now I remember. Phil had an infection in his leg where he was he had to go to the hospital and everything, and they almost pulled out of the show, and that affected his condition and everything. He was in a lot of pain. Now I remember. Thanks for reminding me. Yeah, that's why I say this guy's a warrior. He pushed through that. I would have been crying like a baby. Where do you think Andrew? You just saw. Well, that's a good question. You just saw Andrew.
Oh, Ron, right? Okay, then, right. This is what happened, right? Basically, Wesley reached out to me and he says, "Can I? I'd love to train with Ronnie. Can you make it? Is that a possibility that casinos you're in town?" And I went, "Well, let me have a word." So then I thought of the idea because they like to do a lot of collab videos for Ronnie's YouTube channel. We did one with Tommy Fury. Do you know him, the boxer?
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, we did a collab video with him in the one in James Hollinshead and Jordan Peters' gym, the JP, trained by JP. We did a thing at his gym. We went back the next morning and did this like private collab video. And then I thought, hang on a minute, we could probably get a video out of this. So I said to Ronnie's team, and I said to the guy, I said, look, Wesley wants to train with us. I said, why don't we do a collab video? So yeah. Anyway, so we went to this gym. James Hollinshead jumped in the car with us as well, and so we all met. Wesley and the team picked us up, and they all went there. And training at the other side of the gym was William Bonac. Ulysses, the guys with the abs, the 7 million followers. Yeah, he was training with Andrew and William, and they're all training chest. James Hollinshead was in there training, obviously, with Ronnie training with Wesley, and obviously then the gym was just buzzing. I was training as well. I was doing a bit of back, but I had my phone. I mean, the only time you ever see my phone on the gym floor. And I'll be honest, mate. All eyes were on Andrew, mate. Wow. I could not believe what I was seeing. I went up to him. I said, "All right, Andrew." He said, "Oh, Giles. He says, yeah, I know you. I said, of course you do. We've interviewed him many times. He went, yeah. He says, good to see you, man. And honestly, they trained chest. And I said, the first thing I said, mate, that off season, you've really, because he'd never really had a proper off season ever, had he? Because he'd just been competed from the Arnold Amateur when he did the one in Columbus. He just basically back-to-back shows, Texas, Olympia, Arnold, Texas, Olympia, and he'd never really had a chance for a proper off season. This was it. This was last week. I was in there. I was actually stood behind the cameraman doing some pull downs. Yeah, because I literally took a picture of that. You might see me in the background in my Ronnie jacket. So anyway, honestly, seeing that in the flesh, he blew everyone's minds. I mean, everyone was just in shock. So this off season, he's really made the most of it. In fact, I'm trying to get a tour with Andrew.
Oh wow, there you go.
He said he's looking into the visa situation right now, but because Andrew's one of these guys that because I always get a feel from when I've interviewed them. I've interviewed him with Ronnie. I've interviewed him on Global, and he's one of those guys that even when he responds, he's very polite, very respectful, and I get a good feeling that he's someone I could definitely do a tour with. But I'm telling you what, mate, all eyes were on him in that gym last weekend. It was last Saturday night, I think, Saturday night, and was it Friday night? Last Friday night. But I tell you what, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I'm saying that off-season has really done him well. He's put a ton of size on. And as you saw from the update, that front double bicep, he looks absolutely phenomenal. So I'm telling you now, I'll say it now, I think third place for the Olympia is going to be between Andrew, Samson, and I hate to say it, but Nick Walker.
Come on. Yeah, I mean,
and then I think Raphael, Brandon, and then Martin Fitzwater, I think will be squeezing into the top, trying to fight into that top 6 as well. But I think third place. If he nails it, because don't forget, Andrew's he's had 8th and 5th at Olympia, and both times he's not really nailed it at the Olympia. So I think if Andrew, with this new size, really, really nails it at the Olympia, I think because remember I said last year, I said if Samson could just stay ahead of Andrew. Yeah. Then if that's all he can do, then I think he's just going to continue to climb. But I think because Andrew, I felt I thought it was so close between him when Samson won the Arnold last year. I thought, I remember I said Andrew, I had him beating Samson at the pre-judging on day 1 of the Arnold Classic, and then the next day Samson just completely transformed and really shot ahead of Andrew to sort of make to basically get a comfortable gap between him and Andrew for the finals, and then obviously won the Arnold. But I tell you what. Samson's going to have done his homework and really he's going to have made some improvements to just stay ahead of this guy, because I think Andrew's in with a shot of cracking that top 3 if Samson hasn't made the improvements, and if Nick Walker isn't, because I know that they like Nick Walker. I don't like his physique, but I think third place is going to be a battle between those 3 guys. There you go.
Wow. Yeah, because you corrected me. We shared this picture on our WhatsApp group chat the other day, and I said that's morphed. That's not real. And you said nope. I just saw him. That's what he looks like now.
Did you see the video I posted of me and Ronnie were we're at the hotel meeting Emilio and their team. It was 24 floors up this restaurant, beautiful restaurant. The food was incredible. Really posh place, really beautiful place. Anyway, we just pulled up outside, and Ronnie gets in the chair and over. And then I said, Ronnie, I said, look at that over there. And on the underpass, there was a big poster of Ronnie advertising the expo, because it was one of the official hotels. There was 2 hotels, Novotel and this En Hao hotel. There was 2 hotels we were using, and we were staying in the Novotel, and Andrew was staying in this one that we turned up to. And anyway, so I said, Ronnie, have you seen that? I said, look. So Ronnie started filming it of him, and he said, look, there's Andrew. And I went, what? And then under the underpass, Andrew was coming, and I said, I can't believe I missed him, because you could spot him, like he was like 300-400 yards away, and you could just see like this walking silhouette. But he just trained. He had his calves looked massive, and then he came up and said hi. I filmed it as well. It was on my Instagram. But he looked absolutely enormous. I mean, he's so wide. But if he's put that little bit of size on, that maybe he did need, especially when standing next to someone like Samson, who does appear to be thicker. If he's caught up in terms of size and maybe has gained 7, 8, 9, 10 pounds of muscle, then I tell you what, it's going to be interesting for third place at this Olympia.
I don't want to say I wrote him off, but I hadn't seen much improvement in Andrew the past couple of years, and I thought
competing too much.
He's competing. That's what it was. I was thinking, like, a lot of people saying, well, he's almost 40. Maybe this is as good as he's ever going to get. And I sort of fell into that line of thinking too. But now I see all he really needed was a good break to put that extra few pounds. He didn't need 20, 30 more pounds.
Ron, he's done it. He's done it, mate. Honestly, because his chest and his shoulders and his arms, I mean, in that vest training, I just, like, you had Bonac training right next to him, and you had like James Hollinshead, like 300 pounds, literally like training 10 feet away. And I tell you what, like, all eyes were on Andrew, because he looked like a cartoon character, mate. It was like seeing like a human Photoshop in the flesh, but he was right in front of me. Honestly, I did a couple of sneaky videos, but obviously, I mean, I'm training myself as well, so I need to take that seriously. And obviously, and at the same time, I'm having to check in on Ronnie, make sure he's okay, because he was training and filming Wesley, and there was a ton of people around him, like, in the gym, taking pictures and stuff like that. And we had to make sure that they were okay. And I was trying to train myself, but at the end of the day, I kept being distracted by Andrew. I was like, oh, he looks incredible. I was so excited. I was so excited to see that he'd done, like that off season really done him good, and he'd actually put some size on, because I tell you what, no one will touch him in Texas. And I think, and I honestly think he's in for a shout for third place at the Olympia this year, between him, Nick, and Samson. There you go. Said it.
Yeah, well, it's a bold statement, but you've been right before, Giles, haven't you?
Mystic Tiger, once or twice.
Raymond says, doesn't make sense to put the bottom 4 guys on the thumbnail. No, I mean, you want to. I typically go with who I think has the best chance in my mind, and that's not going to be what you or some other fan might think is the best chance. We all have our favorites. We all have our.
What do you mean bottom 4?
The guys who are going to place in the bottom 4, like
bottom 4. Yeah, but that's probably the top 4 you put on.
Yeah, so you wouldn't put the guys who are going to place like 15, 16, 17, 18.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I see. So he's not saying the 4 guys you put on were the bottom 4.
No, I was going to say.
I see.
Okay. That was my thought too. I was like, wait a minute, Hassan's not going to be in the bottom 4. Come on now.
Yeah. So I see. Sorry, my mistake.
Nathan Epler, I don't know what he weighs. At first, I thought he meant to Asha. Nathan, he looks like he's at least 15 pounds up to me.
I would say 225 to 230, maybe 228, something like that. But the thing is, he's kept the quality, and he's also brought the arms up. I mean, until you showed that 2021 video, was it New York Pro?
Yeah.
When he was at 212 when he won it. Now you can see just how much size he's put on. But I like it when guys put size on and they manage to keep the waist small, and they just basically add, like John Jewett, like he just adds quality. They don't just add thickness in the waist and just kind of, they look a bit square. Like it's like a bigger, better version of the physique, rather than like it just goes to the waistline and makes them look shit, ruins their shape. But he hasn't, like Epler's shape looks even better, I think, now he's put this size on as an open.
Yeah, I had messaged him yesterday about this weight, yesterday afternoon. He hasn't got back to me, but he's got other things on his mind right now. I understand. So
how dare he not respond to Ron?
Yeah, Sadiq is competing today in the men's physique.
Men's physique?
Yeah, he's in the men's
physique. Oh, he's back in men's physique, is he now? Oh, I can't keep up.
I want to make sure I'm getting that right. Classic physique.
Yeah, I suppose he is men's physique, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of the OGs, wasn't he, in the men's physique? One of the original, him and what's his name?
Jeremy Buendia?
Yeah, Buendia. I can remember Buendia's name then.
Did Sadiq never won the Olympia, did he?
Yeah, he was second.
Yeah, he came very close. I know he won like New York Pro.
Oh.
Just want to make sure I'm not getting it wrong. Classic physique, men's physique.
Buendia, what's happened to him? He tore his Achilles or something, didn't he? Or?
Yeah, he's some horrific, possibly career-ending injury.
Shit in it. But then again, the Achilles, it's not exactly like it's going to be, if he turns up with It's not going to affect him, is it? If his physique really, because the legs aren't judged, and he can still train up a body.
Well, we didn't make any predictions on top 6, so he could make top 6. I don't like predictions anyway, because it all comes down to when, especially we have guys who are on the same level, and a lot of them are. It's going to come down to who just brings it, condition and fullness and all that.
But that's why I'm saying this show is quite exciting, because there's like 4, well, actually more than 4 guys. You've got like 6 guys there that really, could be first. What you could mention one of those names, and they could quite conceivably be 1st or 6th. And there's 6 guys like that. So for me, those are the shows that in some ways I think are more interesting, because there isn't like a top 6 Olympia guy. There isn't an Andrew Jack or a Hunter or a Nick Walker that you just think, oh well, okay, who's second then?
Yeah, there's only a few of the top Olympian guys that still need to qualify, and like none of the top guys are in this show. Yeah, and so that leaves it's wide open. It could be, like we'll see what happens. Andrew can win the Olympia.
He could. I think I don't know whether he could win the Olympia. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'd have to see some significant improvements for that. I think he's definitely because for me the top 2 is still going to be Derek and Hadi this year. I don't see, unless something goes horribly wrong for either one of them, but which I don't see either. Because I think they're very experienced competitors. I think Andrew could potentially take 3rd this year. Like I said, it depends on that call out between him, Samson, and Nick, and I think that's who is. Those are the 3 guys that are fighting for that 3rd spot.
As a vertically challenged guy myself, it sort of hurts me to hear the M word used, midget. But I've heard people say, they're sick of seeing midget Mr. Olympias, guys who are like under 5'8", and they say once these taller guys like Samson and Andrew get their shit together, midgets are going to be all done. So, and again, I apologize. It's little people is the actual word for actual people that are.
Yeah. Ron, I'm going catabolic here, mate. I'm just looking at my my watch there. I only had 1 meal today.
Okay, well, I'm almost done. We're just going to run through. Jen said, "Put this on screen. We'll have news share about if we're attending Tampa, Texas Olympia coming soon." Yeah, we have Hector and Jen have been working on some sponsorship proposition deal. So we should find out today, because I'd love to be able to cover this show on site, some of these shows on site, like we did with MD. I mean, my dream scenario is to bring you over for the Olympia. If I could get that kind of sponsorship dollars, I would love to do that.
Well, I'm an Olympia All-Star Tour promoter, so I should get pretty good seats as well.
Well, I'm sure your seats are all set as it is. Anyway, predictions are fun. All right, so that is it. I think we've been doing this for long enough. Would you agree? So, guys, please support the channel, subscribe to it, like these videos, share them on your platforms, and ring that notification bell. Lets you know when you're going to get some new content, pops up on your phone as a notification. Thank you so much, Giles, Tiger, Thomas. Follow him at Giles_Tiger. He's all over the world with these Olympia All-Star Tours, doing all kinds of great things. And I'm very, very happy and grateful to still have him as part of Power Hour. Couldn't do a Power Hour with just me, could I? Be ridiculous. So, yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Giles, for doing what you do so well right here on my channel. Appreciate it. And that's it, guys. So Chicago Pro is happening right now. Go to Tim Gardner Productions, Gardner, Tim Gardner Productions, if you want to get that pay-per-view for tomorrow. I'll probably do a little recap tomorrow evening for the show. So keep your notifications on. We'll find out about it. Thank you, Giles. Have an awesome day. And that's it, guys. We will see you all next